Hi there, I'm Bonnie, Log Cabin Stitcher. Today's going to be a little bit different video than my normal floss tube or quilting videos. Today, Riley and I are going to tell you about a stitch along that I'm going to do, and it's going to be under the hashtag joyneverthelesssal. I'll be doing a couple videos along the way, and I would love for you to join in with me. Let me put this guy down, but I just wanted to share, I'm going to share with you a little bit about Riley. But first, let me show you the project. Okay, so this is my project bag that it is in. It was fabric from my mom, and I love it. The purpose of this stitch along is for anyone to join along with me. I am going to put my first stitch in on this project today. Today is November 3rd, 2020. I'm using the chart Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. You can use whatever project that you want to, whatever you're stitching on, even if you're not a cross stitcher, embroidery, quilting, crocheting, knitting, anything that you've either started, will start, or want to start with me today that helps you to remember to choose joy nevertheless. I already have a lot of my flosses. I've got from Maggie's on Maine, Shanda's, Quilting in Idaho's, local LNS. I bought the last piece that she had at the time, this was several weeks ago, of Wren. I'm going to probably be stitching it on Wren. It calls for Legacy. I don't have that, but I do have Wren, so we'll see how that looks. Now, I will be posting along the way, and if you don't do Instagram, and in case I forgot, I am Bonnie Log Cabin Stitcher on Instagram. And I am Log Cabin Stitcher on this YouTube channel. So this is going to be a different type of video, and just explaining a little bit about the stitch along that I'm going to do, why I want to do it, and just a little personal stuff, because usually I've never done a stitch along before. I am co-hosting another one with Kim at the Contented Stitcher that is under the hashtag Our Friends of the Heart, H-A-R-T, Sal. That one I talked about in my floss tube number 6 video, and I also talked about this one as well. So the purpose of why I wanted to start this project, and then why I thought how fun would it be to join in with others, is today is the anniversary of my mother's dying. And I have done this video so many times, and I'm just going to forward through. I'm just going to do this, and I want it to be joyful. But my mom passed away 6 years ago today, and I want to remember her with joy. She died with Alzheimer's, so it was a rough way to go, and she was my best friend, and I adored her, and she taught me how to stitch. She taught me so much, and I am much of the woman that I am today is because of her influence. I even look like her. So when I call my dad, especially when I've got my hair up, like this is how usually it is when I'm at home. I call my dad and I look like this, and he's like, oh, you look just like your mother, because I chose to go gray in the fall. So it's been a year, and it's taking a long time for it to come all the way out. But I look a lot like my mom, and because of the gray hair, looks even more like her. So I have a lot of similarities with her. Her personality was very much like the personality that I have, and we just enjoy doing a lot of the same things. So it was very hard for me when she died, and when she was dying, it was hard for me when she moved away. She lived local out here, and I live in Inland Empire of Southern California, and they moved away to Colorado, let's see, before my second son was born, over 25 years ago. So it was really hard when they moved away. We adjusted, we made a lot of trips out there. So I want to remember her with joy. And if you watch my videos, whether it's floss tube or quilting or both, you will hear a lot of stories about my mom and the fabrics that I got from her, the quilts that I got from her, and just the reason that I want to choose joy because of her. So this stitch along is going to be fun. So again, it's going to be very casual. open to everybody. So if you're not on Instagram and you can't share those hashtags, then I invite you to comment on any of my videos, but especially any of my hashtag Joy Nevertheless SAL videos, and just share what you're working on, why it helps you to choose joy. And I will be posting my first video when I actually put the stitches in sometime this afternoon. Today I will put at least one stitch in there today, even if I go to work. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about, because we're not going to be stitching together, but anyone around the world. I have so many viewers to my YouTube channel that are all over the world. That thrills me. I am not an adventurous person. I am not a traveler. So to know that people are watching me from other parts of the world just makes my heart so happy. So I wanted to share with you what I will probably be doing while I'm stitching this. So here we go. So this is just a little bit more about me, and what I'll be doing. This is my stitching spot right there. I think you can see more than I can see right now on the screen. This is my stitching spot. I have my perfect stitching setup, and that will be in my floss tube number 3 video. And then my quilting number 3, I share quilts that I inherited from my mom. So check those out if you want to see more about me and my mom. Then these are 2 things that I will be doing while I'm stitching, and I would like to know, what do you guys do while you're stitching? What's your favorite tea? What's your favorite drink? I was going to say what's your favorite tea and coffee, but that may not be your drink. Share with me what you're doing, what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're stitching on, how it's helping you choose joy. That's what I want this to be. So I love Artisan mugs. I don't have a big mug collection, and I don't want a big mug collection. I only have a couple very treasured mugs. So this is one that I bought when I was shopping with my dear friend Carrie in Colorado. She lives close to downtown Grand Junction. There is a really neat Artisan store. Hopefully it is still open, or it is still in business. But this reminds me very much of Colorado. The blue skies, the mountains, gorgeous, the earth. So this reminds me both of my friend Carrie. It reminds me of Colorado and just the wonderful times that I go there. I love holding my mugs, so it feels good in my hand. It's warm right now. I even took a ceramics class and I made mugs. They didn't all turn out very well, but I still have a couple of those mugs. But this is one of my favorite mugs. The tea that I have in there right now is Stash Lemon Ginger, is my favorite tea. I put a little bit of liquid stevia in there. Then the other thing that I often do, I'm a coffee drinker. So first thing in the morning, I wanted to share with you, this is my happy sound. Pop. So I got this on Amazon. And it just keeps my coffee in there. I have my ground coffee. I love this scoop. I now am so sensitive to caffeine. I do 2/3 decaf, 1/3 caffeine, and that is enough to wake me up. I do it really strong though. So I do 4 cups of water in my coffee maker, and I do 2 heaping things of these. So my husband calls it soup. And this is why I wanted to share with you even about my coffee pot. We found for us the perfect coffee pot. It was only a little bit over $100. I know there's some really Gucci ones out there. That's not what I wanted, but we have a Bonavita, and it is a 5-cup coffee maker. Oh, I didn't wash that part off. But I will often pour half of the brew of coffee into my cup because I love it hot and good, and when it's that strong it can get bitter. And then after I drink that, then I add in. So I have this sitting right next to me on my stitching spot, and I love that. The Bonavita, we found that coffee maker. I like carafe coffees. I do not like when the warmer is on. I brew my coffee fresh. We have such a small coffee pot because my husband has his favorite brew of coffee. I have my favorite. His is weaker, mine is stronger. And here's the other thing. We live by where we have Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's decaf is now my favorite. So in the afternoon, I do that same strength, but I'm drinking my decaf. The caffeinated coffee of my choice right now this year is the breakfast blend of Trader Joe's. Very good, especially when you're making it strong. It needs to be good coffee. Oh, Here's something else fun. I made these a year and a half ago, and these are mug rugs. It's really like a trivet size, but this is so fun. I made these a couple years ago, and I was going to give them as gifts, and I had such a hard time giving them away because I am a fabric treasurer, not a fabric hoarder, treasurer. So these were my treasured fabrics, and you use quite a bit of fabric. There is a tutorial. I will link the tutorial where I learned how to do these, but this was using, everybody knows who Lori Holt is, Be in My Bonnet. You can get these, I'm sure Fat Quarter Shop carries them. So these are the Riley Blake, this is Hexi half, and then this is the little guy. This guy's 5-inch, this guy's 10-inch. So this is what I used. You use these, and so you end up using quite a bit of fabric, but you end up with a really fun trivet. And it uses quite a bit of fabric. I keep saying that because I was really surprised at how much fabric I used, but these are all favorite fabrics. And so I kept 2 of them. I have one in the mountains and one down here, and I love it. Even when I go to wash it, I hand wash it very carefully, and then I iron it, because boom, I loved it how they all came out like perfect. Made my little heart happy. So that's what I've got going. That's my little mug rug that I have over there, and I drink water out of my mason jars, so that even fits. I'm a double-fisted drinker, but I like to have my water and my tea or my coffee next to me. What else do I want to share with you? I also have next to me, so this is now a little bit about me. So not my regular, like I said, not my regular disclaimer floss tube or quilting video, but what I do and what I generally have. I brought all these things over. That's my stitching spot, or in the front room if I'm watching TV with my husband or doing something with my husband, I'll bring my favorite stitching, my perfect stitching station in the front room, settle in there, and I can stitch away. I used to stitch 2 decades ago. I used to stitch cross stitch. I did it for a long time. I learned as a teenager, taught myself, loved it. And I always stitched on the Aida, and I loved it. I even tea-dyed it back when it was just one color. And now, as I'm re-entering into it, I love the primitive look, as you can see from back here. So I love working on the linens, and 36 count linen, which this is what this wren is, 36 count. My eyes cannot see it even with readers, so my perfect setup is what I have. So next to me, I have a thing. I don't like touching fabric, paper, anything with dry hands, so this is what I do. And if you didn't already know this about me, I'm working on going as natural as I can, so this is what I have. I make my own lotion bars. So I have my own kind of recipe that I've come up with, and they are basic ingredients, all natural ingredients, and the best of the best essential oils. I'm also a Young Living distributor. I got into Young Living oils 5 years ago now, and so I teach classes, I have videos, but I educate on essential oils. So anytime you want to learn about essential oils, total no pressure, because this is me. And like what you see is what you get. This is the real me. Email me. I always put my email in the description box, and I share these recipes with people that are in my team. So people that have bought Young Living in my team, part of what they get is education from me, but they also get the recipes of things that I have made up. So I have a special little secret group from people that are signed up under me. I also always have dry lips. I don't always wear lipstick, but when I do, this is my favorite color. And again, Young Living. I'm really going clean makeup too. So this is a Young Living lip color. I make my own lip balms as well. And since we're on the oils, look at this, even matches. Inner Child. So essential oils, the reason that I got into them had a lot to do with my mom's death, because after she passed away, I grieved hard, and I really needed to get over it, and I was on meds. It was not good. I needed to get off meds, and I did right after I was able to get through her memorial. I had already talked to the doctor who recommended that I go off of them, and I just prayed for a natural solution. God led me to Young Living, and that's why I'm a rep for the company now, because they changed my life. And this is what I do. So this is a blend called Inner Child. So when you smell a real essential oil, most essential oils that you have out there are not as they are labeled. You got to really trust the company that they come from. I totally trust Young Living. So these are the only oils that I will use. I had other oils before, once I learned about Young Living, I trashed them because I knew what was not in there. And this is a blend called Inner Child that Young Living sells. And when you smell an essential oil, when it's a real essential oil, there's an immediate emotional response that you have. There's a limbic area in our brain. It speaks through scent. So when I smell that Inner Child blend that I use specifically when I'm missing my mom, or when I'm worried about my dad, or when I just want something awesome to smell, because I don't always use essential oils for the scent, but this one smells amazing. So I will apply it, and then I already have an immediate emotional response. So that will be with me as I am working on this project, because I want to choose joy. I do a lot of things that help me do that, and one of them is my essential oils, and then stitching, and then my Jesus. And so that was where I don't know how many videos I tried this morning, and I bawled through each one of them. So I'm not going there, but also I can't remember what I said before. But part of the reason I am who I am, part of the reason my mom was who she was because of Jesus. So my mom and dad hit a speed bump in their life, in their marriage, when I was 2 years old. I don't remember anything about this, and I didn't ask her about it until my husband and I hit our speed bump in our marriage. And I said, Mom, I know you and Dad had some issues. I got to know. And so this is what she shared with me. They had been separated. And at that time, like I said, I was 2. I had an older sister and a baby brother. And someone invited my sister to go to church. And so my mom went with her, was introduced to Christ, and became a Christian, which means that she's saved by grace because Jesus is her Savior. And that's how I know she is in heaven. Without a doubt, there's not a lot I am sure of in this life. That is one thing I am sure of. She is whole, she is healthy, and I can't wait to go be with her someday. But then my dad saw a change in her, and they got back together, and they needed to know how to go forward in life with making good decisions in their family and just living out this life with Christ. And so they got into Marriage Encounter to help with their marriage. They got into a church, and they also got into Focus on the Family. That's when Focus on the Family first started. So I have been brought up, and then I got to go to Christian schools, private Christian schools, from first grade on. So my mom taught me as a child how to love my Jesus. And so I don't even remember when I asked Jesus into my heart to be my Savior. Probably young elementary school, but I have lived my life with him, not always following as I should. And that's where I've gotten into trouble. But now I know he is my all in all. Here's something I wanted to share. So this is something that I made for my mom. It's a Crabapple Hill studio. I don't know if this one is still out. It was called Flower Garden. So I stitched this for my mom. And when she was declining with Alzheimer's, she was not able to do her own stitching, and I just wanted her to have some fun things. So I thought, while she can remember, she can have different things. I just gave her a frame, and she could pop this out easily, put in a different design, and I was going to give her one every month. But this is what I made for her in April 2009. So after she passed away, I got these. And this is my mom, and this is me, and that's why I'm doing this video. So I said, made by, quote, someone special. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. For the someone special who taught me the greatest love of my life, how to love the Lord my God with all my heart, strength, and mind. I now get to pass on this precious legacy of raising my children to love our Almighty God. Thank you, Mom. Love, Bonnie. So the quote, someone special, was when I was out at her house one time. We were just talking about all the things on the wall in her house. And she looked at something. She said, someone special made that for me. And I said, Mom, I'm not someone special. I made that for you. And so then we would talk about things, and that would be like, someone special, meaning that was me, was going to do something. And so that's why I did that. It was just fun. Even when my mom was declining, she had a lot of teary times. But also, she would do her best to laugh about something. I remember she was doing a birthday card for me one time, and she went to sign it some way, and it wasn't right. And she came in, and she was just laughing. She said, oh, look what I did. So that's not how life always played out for her. But when she was being who she really was, That's what she was. She would laugh about things. So that's how I want to live my legacy of my mom. So we're already at 19 minutes. What do I want to share? These are the other things that I might be doing while I am stitching. I grew up loving to read, and right now I still love to read. But when I'm stitching, I like to listen to books on tape. So one of them is Anne of Green Gables. My mom gave me the first set, the whole set of Anne of Green Gables, and I loved them. I read them all. I don't know how many times I've read them all. And I love these movies too. So these are the only Anne of Green Gables movies that I will watch. This, what is it? Probably Hallmark. A&E. I don't know which one it is. So there we go. That's the Anne of Green Gables that I love. So after I listen to the book 1 of Anne of Green Gables, I will watch that movie. But I want to listen to it first while I'm stitching. Otherwise, I'm watching floss tubers. And then I also like to watch other things. I've been really liking watching tiny house tours, because our little cabin is like a tiny house. And so I like to see how they do things. So those are the things that I like to do. Or I'm looking out my window. Like right now, I'm looking out my window, and I've got my garden out there, and I love to look at the tree. We have this big Chinese elm tree that most of the neighbors have had theirs cut down because it's a mess. They are a mess. But it's gorgeous, it's huge, it's shady, it's strong. And so this window gets all the afternoon sun, and so that tree, it shades it, but it looks magical when the sun's going down, and I get to look at my garden out there. So sometimes when I'm having my coffee, I'll just sit here on a bar stool by my quilting table and look out and drink my coffee, but otherwise I'm there sitting down and I can see up into the tree. So these are the things that I'm going to be doing while I'm stitching, and then I'm using that time to think about Mom and to remember all the joy that she taught me how to live. And I know, I was trying to find that Bible verse, because I know there's a passage in the Bible that talks about joy nevertheless. That's why we came up with that, joy nevertheless. But I searched every verse that had joy in it. And then I searched every verse that had nevertheless in it, and I couldn't find it. So if any of you know or want to find it before I find it, please share that passage with me. Otherwise, as soon as I find it, I will share that with you. I wanted to share with you also, after my mom passed away, I knew I needed to go to counseling, because I was very, very close and very, very attached to her. And it was hard to have someone pass away with Alzheimer's is hard. And so I knew I was going to need some therapy. I just didn't want to go. Our insurance would have covered secular therapy. That was just not what I wanted. I wanted therapy with my faith, with the Christian faith. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford it. So, Lord, what do you have for me? So I just prayed. And we go to Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, and I was listening, our Pastor Jack, people around the world listen to Pastor Jack. And so he has an app called Real Life with Jack Hibbs. And I was watching it one time when I was in here sewing, and there was a couple on there that he was interviewing, and they were going to be starting up a class at our church called Seasons of Grief. They use the platform Grief Share, and after I was listening to them and hearing about what the ministry was, I was like, I'm signing up for that. So I went through 2 sessions of it. So they use the platform Grief Share, and in that there were videos, there was a workbook that we went through, and these are some little cards. So this is the Bible verse card that I have had in my bathroom almost all year. So on the front it said, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit," Psalm 34:18. Then here's something on the back, because today I'm not crying in this video, and so this one I will actually upload. But I shared a little bit about this, and so this is another thought, especially for today. I would rather walk through life with friends and suffer their occasional unhelpful attempt to comfort me than walk through this without them. And it just says Carla, so don't know who Carla is. But what I was saying is, a lot of times when we have someone we want to comfort, we don't have the words. What words do you say that might comfort them? And so sometimes we'll say something that might not be comforting to them, or it might. Or sometimes our closest friends will tell us something and they want it to comfort us, but at the time it just doesn't quite make the mark. But even if what they're trying to do is show their love for us and their support and their empathy. So that's what I think. Even though some of my friends and some of my family have said something that at that moment, that was like, you know, not what I wanted to hear at this moment. But later on, I was thinking about it and I thought, they love me. They love me, and that's how they would deal with the grief at that moment. That's how they wanted to wrap me in these words and help me along the way. So I learned through seasons of grief, or the platform Grief Share, how I needed to process my emotions. And everybody is very different, but this is part of how I process my emotions. I let them happen when it's safe. When I am home, it's safe. And so that's where often when I'm doing these floss tube or quilting videos, it is in my safe and happy spot. And so that's where when I've been talking about my mom or these emotions, the tears will come out. And I have had viewers tell me, because I was thinking, oh, I got to edit these out. And I have had my viewers say, don't edit them. This is the real you. And yes, what you see, this is the real me. Our grief, it's messy. When friends comfort us, or we try to comfort friends, it can be messy, but it's under that. It's the friendship that matters. So that's all I want to say is thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I am thrilled with this platform. The majority of everything has been so positive and so uplifting and encouraging. I know my videos are very different, or my videos can be different than other floss tubers. We're all different. We all have a different personality. We all have different things that we bring into it. And then we all have people that we will connect with and some that we won't. That's okay. So that's what I just want to share joy. I want to share hope. I would love to have you guys join along with me if you would like. So any questions, comment. But just know it's very casual. I won't be stitching on that every day. I don't have, like a lot of stitchers have a rotation, or they do this or they do that. I just do what I feel like. That's kind of like what I do everything in life. I just kind of do what I feel like. And so some days I will feel like stitching that, and some days I'll feel like stitching something else. So, and I will. And that's why I just want to say, do what you like. Do what you would enjoy. But I would love for you to sign in and join with me and choose joy nevertheless. Thank you guys. God bless you.